Alright, so welcome back to the Spacemacs ABC. Today we're gonna keep going with B, which stands for buffers. Before I start that, I wanna say that I figured out a few things from last time. This diff that you can see at the bottom here, you can toggle it with D when you're doing the undo tree. So that answers that question, and also I believe I fixed the problem with the list of packages. Let's just see. Yeah, so this is what it looks like. I apparently had a corrupted archive at the my local archive was corrupted. Um, so I cleared it out and re-downloaded it. So this is working now. As I said last time, you can use this for listing packages, finding out if there's anything available for what you want to do. But if you want to install them, you really should do that from the dot file here, additional packages. Um, if you install it manually, what will happen is that Spacemacs will erase it when you restart the next time. So and also if you want to update packages, you should use the update packages button on the home screen right there. The reason being that you can roll back if you find out that you broke something, which I believe is not possible if you do it from here. So that answers those questions. Now let's keep going with space B for buffers. Uh, yeah, space B period, that's the buffer microstate, which, yeah, it's not terribly useful, I imagine. N for the next one, P for the previous one. I don't have a... Wait, why does... So... Yeah, so I don't have a lot of buffers really open in this Emacs instance here, so that's why this doesn't look very useful. Although I imagine if you wanted to kill some useless buffers, this might be handy. Next is the N and P for scrolling through them, and K for killing. Okay. Dot microstate. Space B, that's Helm Mini. This is really one of the most useful bindings in the whole of Spacemacs. It launches a Helm session with two sources. The one on top is buffers, which is, as you might imagine, just a list of open buffers you have. And then there's the recent files you have opened, and I believe there's 100 of them. I don't think I made any changes to that, so I think it's 100 by default, which is it's really handy. So you don't need to worry for the most cases at least. You don't need to worry about whether you have the buffer open or not. If it was a file that you visited recently, chances are you're gonna find it in here anyway. Um, you should know that you can press Ctrl Z in Helm to open a list of actions. So the primary action is to switch to that buffer. That's what you get if you use Enter or Ctrl L. But you can also do F2 to switch to the buffer in the other window, F3 to open in another frame, replace. Yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff here. View buffer, view buffer. So I guess that will show you the contents of the buffer without. Uh, no, it did. I would have expected this to leave this Helm session open, but apparently not. I think if I do this, yeah. So if you press Control C, Control F, it will enable Helm follow, which you can see by the HF in the mode line there, and then it will sort of trigger the primary action on every movement through this list. Um, yeah, and it's source specific. So now I've triggered it here in buffers, but if I move down to recent files, it does not work. Then I have to enable it here as well. Control C, Control F. Yeah, now you see it opens CMake lists, it opens packages.el and whatever. Okay. Well, there's some things to do here, but typically this is what I use to switch buffers around. So BB, B, helm mini. Let's see what else we have. B, capital B, that's iBuffer. This is only available if you have the iBuffer layer. And this is sort of a more persistent list of buffers that's organized by category here. You can customize these categories to your heart's content. I've um, I've done that in my own little layer called BBI buffer, where I have one category for each project, and I have a few other categories for files that are not part of a project, like Emacs buffers, the Spacemacs home buffer, the messages, the Scratch buffer, all the Helm are grouped here. I can click. There's a whole bunch of things I can do here. Let me see. Return to visit buffer. I think you can even mark them and do things. View and evaluate. Yeah, you can save from here. You can rename. You can do evaluation. Delete. I guess that would delete a buffer. Let's try that on the Scratch buffer. Really kill a buffer? Yes, please. Yep. So that works. I'm using space question mark, by the way, to browse these key bindings. Bury buffer, mark for delete. Yeah, so there's a lot of different things you can do here. I I tend to use Helm Mini to find buffers, but this is a great little application if you want an overview. So let me do capital B I buffer. Let's write it like that. What else do we have here? Kill this buffer, space BD. So let me open a buffer that I'm comfortable with killing, like another Scratch buffer, space BD. And now you will not find any Scratch buffer here. Delete buffer. Delete buffer. Thank you. Space B E, safe erase buffer. What does that do? I thought I erase content. Yes. All right, that's it. Undo. Okay. Why not? Erase buffer. Contents. Space B H. That one opens the Spacemacs home buffer. Go to Spacemacs home. Space B K, IDO kill buffer. Okay, so that opens it opens a list of buffers in IDO, which is this rather Helm-like thing, which is not Helm. And then I guess it will kill whatever you choose. So let's kill packages. And indeed, there are no packages here. Okay, so that's another way to kill a buffer. Kill buffer with IDO. Space B capital K, kill other buffers. Kill all buffers except nil. No thanks. Okay, that's a nuclear option. Kill all other buffers. Use with care. Space B M move. Move left, down, up and right. Space B M L. Okay. So what if I do messages space B M J? Alright, so this moves buffers across windows. This is actually really handy. I have been using this, or I've been doing this the hard way apparently. M move buffer across windows. That's pretty nice. I like it. Space B, capital M, ace swap window. Alright. What if I have more than one window? Or more than two windows? How does that work? Space B, capital M. Ah, okay, and then I can choose which window. You'll see there's a red letter in the top left of each window here, and then I guess I can choose which one. So if I press D, I will, yeah, exactly. A. All right. This is cool. I had no idea about this. Okay. M ace was it ace move buffer or something? Ace swap window. I'm gonna call it ace swap buffer in Windows. Great. Space B, N, and P. So that's next useful buffer and previous useful buffer. And I believe that's the same thing you get if you do the buffer microstates. So yeah, I think I like the microstate better. Next or previous buffer, useful buffer. There's a certain definition of what is a useful buffer and what is not a useful buffer. It will skip things like messages, helm, help, iBuffer, all these special ones. Typically, file buffers will be opened. This is probably customizable somewhere. Um, Let me see. Useful buffer. Um, okay, so there's a list of regular expressions here. Um, okay, so there's a regular expression that matches useless buffers, and this is a list of regular expressions that match useful buffers, even if they match the useless buffers regular expression. So you can probably customize this if you like. But I don't use these options that often, so it hasn't really occurred to me. Um, Let me see. Copy clipboard to whole buffer. Okay, my clipboard didn't have a lot of interesting things. Thankfully, it might have been embarrassing. Space B, capital P. Um, Copy clipboard to buffer. It also erases the contents of the buffer. Space B R save revert buffer. Okay, so Spacemacs it turns on these autosave feature by default, which means that if you happen to have Emacs crash on you with unsaved files, typically they can be reverted when you start up Emacs again. And apparently, oh no, sorry, my mistake. This is just reverting from file. Okay, so if you make an edit to this file outside of Emacs and you come back into Emacs and you want to keep editing and you want to get your changes back, you can do space B capital R to revert from the data on disk. And that's the same thing that happens if you do colon E, by the way, in Vim. Let me see. Revert to data on disk or whatever. Space B S, yeah, that switches to the scratch buffer, and it creates a scratch buffer if it doesn't exist. I note now that the scratch buffer is in fundamental mode, while the one that is created at startup is in text mode, I think. So, yeah, that should probably be fixed. S, switch to scratch buffer. Save. Okay. Space B W, read only mode. Okay, so that toggles read only. Toggle read only. Y, copy whole buffer to clipboard. So if I do space BY here and space BP there, I get my dot file in Scratch. And I didn't know I had custom variables here. What? Where did these come from? Go away. Go away. Okay. And space B E to erase. Erase, yes. Okay. Nice. So Y, let me put that together with P. PY, copy or paste clipboard to buffer. Um, Paste or copy to or from. That makes more sense. Yeah. Space B, Control K, kill matching buffers rudely. That sounds like something I want to read the doc string for before I run it. Kill matching buffers rudely. Kill buffers whose name matches their regular expression. This function, unlike the built-in kill matching buffers, does so without asking. The optional second argument indicates whether to kill internal buffers too. Okay, so let's try space B, Control K, kill buffers matching scratch. And there's no scratch buffer here. Okay, that's even more of a nuclear option. Sounds quite dangerous, but okay. Kill buffers matching regular expression. And that brings us to the end of B. Now I want to do C, which is compilation and commenting. Now I don't do a lot of compilation, at least not on this computer, because I spend most of my time writing dynamic languages like Python. I do some compilation in in or at work, but I did grab some projects here before I started recording this video to compile, so hopefully we can make that work. C, compilation and commenting. So let's see here. Space C, helm make projectile. No makefile found. Okay, so now I want to open a project called, for example, BS GUI, and open the CMake lists. Okay. Now CMake is a tool for generating makefiles, and I've already run this today, and I've generated a makefile. So let me see. Space C. Um, so are these targets? Make all? Oh, this is sweet. Awesome, because usually I do space C, capital C, and then it asks for a for a make command. But typically, what I have to do then is to write a whole bunch of change directory first, because I usually do out of tree builds. So I wonder if I now do space C, will this default command work? Exactly, this one does not work because it runs in the wrong folder, right? But this first one that I did, space CC, it searches, I guess it searches for makefiles, and then it lists all the targets in all the makefiles it finds somehow. I see the mode line here is broken, but I'll have to fix that. So then I can just run it. That's nice. And now it runs in the build folder, you see. Okay, that's cool. So if I do clean, and if I do all, now you see it building here. And it scrolls to the bottom, which is a tweak that I merged just this morning actually, and it makes me so happy. Oh, this is like porn. Linking, compilation finished. Great. And what if I do space C, capital C, CD, repos, bsgui, build, and make all. And let me, sorry for this experimentation, clean, um, cd, repos, bsgui, make, build, and make all. Okay. Because I seem to remember getting nice syntax coloring here. I'm not exactly sure why that doesn't happen now. Maybe somebody knows. I'll have to experiment with that. But at least the space CC can find my makefile without me having to enter a long ass path. So that's great. Helm make. Let me write help compile, and then capital C will be compile. Um, so this one is preferable then, I would think. Space CR, that's recompile. Um, it runs the previously ran compilation command without asking for a new one. That's also really handy. Let me try to actually create an error here. Main, let me do main CPP, and let me forget that curly brace. Now what happens? Yeah, exactly. Now it will stop scrolling when it reaches the first error, and I believe if I click there, it'll bring me to the error. Exactly. Nice. And I can probably tab, and it will jump between the links. Oh yeah, this is great. Like I said, I don't do a lot of compilation work on this computer, but at work I do, so this is going to come in really handy. So today I learned about space CC. I've been using space C, capital C, but this other one is really a lot better. Is there anything else here about compilation? No. So the rest of the stuff is commenting. Now, on the previous video, I showed you space semicolon, which is the commenting operator, and it works um, like a standard evil operator. But there's a couple of defaults, I guess you can call them, under space C here. You can do space CL for commenting just a line, and this works also with selections. So let me put that down. Comment line. Space C, capital L, comment around comment lines, invert. So yeah, so if I do like this and I then do space C, capital L, it will just invert the the commenting state basically. So if I try to do that with space CL instead, I'll just get this and that. But with C capital L, I get this. Let me see. Comment line invert. Um, P and capital P, same thing for paragraphs it seems. This is space CP, and if I do like this, then I do space C capital P, exactly, it flips it. Nice. Comment line or invert. Comment paragraph or invert. Space C, let me see, T and capital T. Quick comment or uncomment to the what? What is that? Let me space CT. Quick comment or uncomment to the line. Okay, space CT. Oh, it just comments everything above where I am. Right. Not sure how useful that is, but okay. TT comment to the line or invert. And then we have space CY, copy and comment lines. Yeah, this is really handy for me sometimes, at least, when I want to make a small change to some lines, but I want to keep the original intact for when I want to use it later. What you usually then do is you copy it, paste it, and you comment out one of them, and then you make some changes to the other one, right? Well, instead of that, you can do space CY. It it creates a copy of the line you're at, and it comments the original, and then moves you down to the new one. This is one of my favorite key bindings actually, and it should also work with regions like that. Really quite brilliant in my opinion. YY, copy and comment. And let me move the compilation stuff together like this. There we go. That's C. I believe I missed something here. Wait, what? Like that. Okay. Not that it matters. Let me see. Space capital C. Capture and colors. Okay, this one is pretty small. We can do this in this video. Capital C, capture and colors. So space space capital C C. This is org capture, which I'm not going to go too much into detail about this. You will probably need the org layer, and you will probably have to configure your capture. But I will say that you will find this key binding under space A O C instead, and that's probably the preferable one. At least for me, I would tend to think that we should remove the one under space capital C, um, since the others are bundled together, all of the org key bindings together. But anyway, for now, you will find it there. Org capture. C also space AOC. Like that. Space capital C L. Helm colors. Okay, so this is a list of colors, um, or basically this first source here is a list of colors in Emacs that have special names, and then there's a list of faces. So what happens if I okay, I get if I click a face, I get to the customization buffer for that face, and if I do a color, nothing happens, really? Shouldn't it insert it or something? Um, Apparently not. So let me what are the actions here? Oh, okay, so it copies. By default, it copies the name. So I can probably paste. Yeah, exactly. Gray, gray, gray. Okay. Space CL. Copy name, copy RGB, insert name. That's the one I was looking for. Insert Gainsborough, F3. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so for those of us who do theming work in Spacemacs, this is handy, I suppose. Helm colors. Uh, let me um, Let me go down to the phases. Okay, customize and copy name. Okay. So you see there, you can, I mean, if you end up in a Helm buffer that you have no idea what it does, just press Ctrl Z and you'll find out. Space, capital C, T. Okay, so these are actually, okay, I need to explain this. T and capital to do, T and capital T, TT, or so this is a package that Spacemacs includes, which is called ORT, which stands for org repo to do, and it helps you to have a custom capture source per project, basically. Um, Now, last time I heard, there were some problems with this package. I'm not sure if that's been fixed. I know there was a suggestion of a separate package that purports to do the same thing. Um, I don't know what ended up happening with that. I think it's still in limbo, but it seemed to work at least when I tried it right now. Um, Hello, Control C, Control C. Yeah, and then it writes a todo.org file in the repository root. So space C, capital T. I need to do this thing here. Control C, and now let me open up the org file. Yeah, and you see you get all your to-dos, it ends up here. So basically this is a notepad where you would use to pick up a post-it note or scribble something on your whiteboard whenever you need to do something. Instead you do this ORT capture. But keep in mind, as I said, there were some talks about maybe switching this out with a different package, so maybe that will happen. I don't know. Uh, Now I seem to have forgotten to look at the time when I started this video. So I have no idea how long I've been going, but I suspect this is probably a decent place to stop. Now we've done A, B, and C, or both C's, small and capital. There is no D, so when we do the next video, I guess we'll do E for errors and F for files. There's a lot of stuff going in here for files, so there's a lot to do. Space G is Git. So yeah, I'll see what I have time for. Until then, see you later.